everybody, and today I'd like to talk about a history of economics. Now, Chapter 18, down the plug hole. The economy has up and downs, just like sea waves. Before the 1930s, America was rich and powerful. The ownership of the homes were high, and they even got washing machines and holidays and travels. But not until the 1929, the Great Depression. 25% of the workers lost their jobs, and many were made homeless, and they were starving and lost hope. Number 2, why rich countries go bust. Conventional economics counts that they could not explain the crisis of 1930s and about how to use scarce resources. For example, to make boots, you have to make less hats. So there's a scale, picture a scale, and on one side is hats and the other side is boots. So in order to make more boots, you have to reduce the number of hats and vice versa. Resources are limited. For lots of people, the assumption is that factories run at full capacity and every worker is employed, but it's in reality that's not true. For example, my dad's colleague called Claire, her company's wasn't doing very well, so they had to reduce the number of employees. So she was out of the work, but luckily she found a new job. So, but no one is as lucky as Claire. Some people just end up with no job. Number 2, Keynes' explanation on recession. Who is Keynes? He was one of the greatest economists in the UK. Also, one of them is Hayek, who we'll meet later on. There are two of the greatest. So there were two of very famous economists in the UK. One of them is Hayek, and one of them is Keynes. Meet Hayek later on. So, Keynes' explanation on recession. The world moved into a parallel universe, and it was not so much one of scarcity, but of how to make the use of the resources already there. For example, there were clothes. There's stuff that you have to make clothes, but so you can make clothes, but also use them to make other things. So you can make use of other your resources. Resources are available, and the factories would also be available, and the workers would also be available. But no economical activities there were, because the connection was broken between what people wanted and what the economy made. Keynes made a good point on the income of the country. It was not what the economy was able to produce, but its amount that people spend, i.e. demand. For example, if there was lots of people want to spend their money on something that's not really not very useful, but they really want it, then that's demand, i.e. demand. 3, Say's law versus Keynes. Say is a French economist, and his law was everything that gets made gets sold, will get sold. But Keynes didn't agree. For example, this is an economic a module of Say's of a bath according to Say's law. For example, there's a bath and the water amount is very high, and you've lost the plug. So then the water flows down and it get into a pipe. But the pipe connects to the water tank. So eventually the water will go into the water tank, and then but then it just goes up again and it goes back inside. But it's the tap is controlled by investment. For example, it's controlled by the investment. For example, if the interest rate is really high, then there will be less people who want to borrow money from them and invest it on the on economical activities. But if it's a lower interest rate, then more people will want to borrow from it and invest it. But according to Keynes, the water flows, yeah, but it's only a small amount of water in the bathtub, because some of the water gets into the water tank, which is the investment. So then that's, yeah, but the other half is it flows out like people which people save, which is like people saving money under a mattress. Keynes' review of recession. So it was caused by the spending going down the drain, and when it was once caught, there was no way of escaping by itself. This is where the government intervenes. They do some certain kinds of actions to help the the water flow back. For example, in the last financial crisis, there was it was a very rough time. So the government printed lots and lots of money to fill into the bath again, so it would be full again. And they printed lots of money because there wasn't enough. So, and I think that was in 2008. I think, yeah. Since Keynes, there were different types of economics. There were two parts. One of them was macroeconomics, which is economics like as a whole, and the other one is microeconomics, which is individual buying or decisions. And also, Keynes also told, he said that he said it was actually not good to save too much, because he said that, like, for example, if there's a fruit shop and there's you have £10, so you can either spend your £10 on the fruit and then so you lose £10, or you can save your £10. Lots of people would choose to save the £10, but Keynes said it's better if you actually spend it, because he said that if you don't, that means it would put a man out of work. So then the person wouldn't earn any money for his home and like his family if if you don't like give him the £10, he might get put out of work. And so Keynes said you could actually save too much, which is not good. And I know it sounds really weird, but yeah, it's actually true. And that's all for today. Bye-bye.